Alright, the heat's affected me, so this is my third attempt today at making the first video of the day. And it's my only day off this week, so I need to take advantage of that. Now, this is the 08-09 yearbook, which means this is 07-08 I'm going to look back at. But first, to Bob McCowan and his panelists, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that in the middle of summer, I'm not interested in whether or not the New York Yankees are going to sell anybody. I am not overly interested in whether or not the Jays are going to trade Devin Travis. I am not overly interested in the fact that Batista's back, nor am I interested in whether or not Sanchez is going to get shut down for the rest of the season. I don't care. I don't particularly care about tennis. If Canadians get all upset because Bouchard can't win, well, guess what? There's other women out there. Just because they're not from Canada doesn't mean you can't cheer for them, and I personally cheer for Angelique Kerber, and she usually comes through relatively well for me. I used to cheer for Martina Hingis. I still cheer for Anna Ivanovic when she's in the tournament. There's nothing wrong with cheering for women who aren't from Canada because, let's be honest, Bouchard's game is stale. I watch Bouchard play tennis. It's the same game every time. And whether she's winning or not, it doesn't matter because if her opponent figures her out and there's a momentum shift, she can't deal with it. She's the Alain Vigneault of women's tennis. Hi, Kitty. It's hot, you know. It's like 33 degrees today, sweetheart. It's hot. Okay, it's apparently not too hot. No. See, you're on the cord for the headset. Come here. No, come here. Get up here. Come here. Doop doop. Sorry, I hit you in the nose. I'm sorry. And then the other thing, I got my hockey cards today, my 3 boxes of Upper Deck, and I also got my own book that I wrote. That's right, I ordered my own book. I wanted to see this Create Space thing where you can self-publish. It is bare bones, and it gives you a publishing date, and it shows the exact day it was published. So basically, this book sits there until somebody orders it, and then they create it. And I had always sort of pictured it as being a paperback book, but now I understand why it's 128 pages. 125 pages. Because remember when I saw it was 125 pages, I was like, wait a minute, that's small. But if it was a paperback book in a normal paperback size, it'd be about 300 pages, so I'm okay with that. Self-confidence restored. And there's not a whole lot going on right now with hockey, so let's take a look back. You're really digging your claws into my hand there, kitty. She doesn't want me doing that. Emerging NHL leaders. Oh, I wonder how this is going to work out. Age 20, Jonathan Toews. After a 24-goal rookie season, the dynamic center will only get better as he learns to use his body as a physical player. Toss 2008 Calder Trophy winner Patrick Kane into the mix, and it's easy to see why Hawks fans are excited about hockey again. Hi, kitty. Don't get mad. Don't give me a dirty look. I'm reading. I know. Age 23, Shea Weber of Nashville. The total package on the blue line. He boasts a rocket shot and a mean streak. If he can stay healthy, he's a beast. Stat, 2.1 body checks per game to pace the Predators last season. This is, of course, the 07-08 season. Mikko Koivu, great size, 6'3", 207 pounds, and he uses it well. His work ethic, he's a good bet to follow brother Saku as a team captain. I really thought Mikko was going to be a better offensive player than Saku. I really did, and it just hasn't happened. Stats, scored 4 goals in 6 playoff games after 11 and 57 regular season games. Those are the interesting ones anyways. Time to shine. Kyle Wellwood in Vancouver. This little guy is a terrifically talented and creative pivot, but there are some concerns about his dedication. When your own dad calls you out about your off-season preparation, that should be a wake-up call. Nope. Let's see. Big hitters in the regular season. Dustin Brown's #1, followed by Mike Komisarek, David Backes, Brendan Morrow, Trent Hunter. And in the playoffs, it was Brooks Orpik, Dion Phaneuf, Brendan Morrow, Daniel Girardi, and Milan Lucic. So Brendan Morrow is the only one that shows up twice. Love that guy. Just loved him. New kid. Zach Parise led the Devils with 65 points last season. All right, so there's Okposo. There's Stamkos. Rookies to watch. Bobby Ryan, Derek Brassard, Jakub Voracek, Fabian Brunstrom, Drew Doughty, Ted Purcell, Kyle Okposo, Ryan Parent, Kyle Turris, and Patrick Berglund. Let's see. Cup counts. Montreal's number 1 with 24. Blah, 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 blah. Boston, of course, is 4th with 6. Luch is loose. Yeah. A new favorite in Boston has fans back on their feet pounding the glass. Yeah, pounding the glass, sorry. More uncovered net. We're talking about shrinking the goalie equipment and how that's going to help. It's going to increase scoring. Scoring was increased coming out of the lockout as it is out of any lockout, but it just doesn't last that way. Hi, baby. I know you want all my attention. It's hot, though, and you're like a little heating blanket in my lap. Oh, and they talk about Brett Hull as the one of the guys running the Dallas Stars. That was a mistake. Sean Avery thanks them for their $16 million. Thank you, sweetie. It's just too hot. I'm sorry. Despite a short summer, we like the Red Wings to repeat as champions. Here we go again. I vowed last season to never again pick a team to repeat as Stanley Cup champions, but the temptation is simply too overwhelming. And so, without further ado, we present you the 2008-2009 Stanley Cup winners, the Detroit Red Wings. Okay, here's the thing. We all know it's damn hard to repeat as champs. Not one team has done it since the Wings in 97-98. With 30 clubs and a salary cap, it's difficult to keep a championship team together for an extended period of time. Teams have a better chance now than ever before to climb up from a basement to a penthouse. Just look at the Philadelphia Flyers. They went from last place overall to the NHL's Final Four in 1 year. But when you make it to the Cup final, it's a 2-month grind that extends your season into early summer, and the obligatory celebration period leaves you with less preparation time for the upcoming season. It leads to what's commonly referred to as a Stanley Cup hangover. So what makes the Red Wings different? For starters, their best forwards, Henrik Zetterberg and Pavel Datsyuk, have just entered the prime of their careers. Both are highly skilled two-way threats. Then there's the Wings system. They play a fast-paced puck possession game that confuses and frustrates opponents. Mike Babcock's coaching has as big an influence on the outcome of his team's game as any coach in the league. Then there's the obvious. An already great team adds the most prized free agent in the summer in Marian Hossa, who declined long-term multi-million-dollar offers to sign a one-year deal for the Wings because he thinks they give him the best chance for the Stanley Cup. Beyond that, no team in the league boasts the proven secondary scoring of the Wings with Johan Franzen, Dan Clary, Thomas Holmstrom, Valtteri Filppula, Yuri Hudler, and Michael Samuelsson. Go ahead, Pavel and Hank. Take the night off. They've got you covered. Should be noted a number of Wings key players, including future Hall of Fame defenseman Nick Lidstrom and valuable checking forwards Chris Draper and Kirk Maltby, are getting long in the tooth. But Lidstrom has always been quietly effective without expending too much energy, while Draper and Maltby are role players who average between 12 and 15 minutes of ice time. Veteran goalies Chris Osgood and Ty Conklin form a competent duo. Osgood was fine. Conklin was a strange one. He was really streaky. Finally, the kids. One of the reasons the Wings have been so strong for so long is the fact they draft well. Speedster Darren Helm, drafted 132nd in 2005, showed in last year's playoffs that he's developing into a fine two-way forward. Defenseman Jonathan Eriksson looks like he'll be ready to join the top six, while left winger Ville Leno, 25, finished second in scoring in the Finnish league. And don't be surprised if brash right winger Justin Abdelkader joins the varsity squad full-time at some point next season. How do you bet against these guys? Pittsburgh beat them. Prospects. I did this the last time, so look again. Some interesting prospects here. Number 1's Bobby Ryan. Number 2's Jake Gardner. Will refine defensive instincts at Wisconsin, is what they say about Jake Gardner. Not much else in there in terms of future NHLers. Atlanta. Thrashers need to find help for Kovalchuk fast. And they did, and they didn't. They needed to, and they didn't. Number 1 prospect, Zach Bogosian. Bogosian is an intelligent, smooth skating blue liner who has the ability to make an excellent first pass. He causes something to happen almost every single shift. He has the potential to be an elite two-way defender. He's drafted 3rd overall. So while people may make a big deal when years later and say, oh, this team shouldn't have picked this guy, at the time that Bogosian was drafted, he was considered an excellent two-way defenseman. It was considered to be a slam dunk by Atlanta at the time. So we can all look back later as, Monday morning quarterbacks, but number 2 is Andrei Pavlich. Confident stopper needs to work on consistency. Good thing you got that nipped in the bud now. Number 3 is Angelo Esposito. No. And then it's a lot of no. Boston. Just that picture of Luch. I mean, I don't know if they intended for him to look like an ape, but he does. He does. Sophomore Milan Lucic is a fan favorite thanks to his rough and tumble approach. Yeah. Where's Luch? Yeah, he only had 8 goals in his rookie year. That quickly changed, but yeah. Number 1 prospects, Tuukka Rask. After that, it's a bunch of number 4 is Joe Colborne, plays a style eerily similar to Joe Thornton. The only thing that Joe Thornton and Joe Colborne share in common is first name. That's it. Brad Marchand, small guy who thinks he's a power forward. No, he's a rat who thinks he's a power forward. Carl Soderberg, a big man with hands and skill. So pretty decent depth there for Boston. Buffalo Sabres aim for playoff return after a difficult year. So see, they still thought they were going to bounce back, and that didn't happen. Number 1 prospects, Tyler Myers, towering defensive prospect, work in progress. Number 2, Jonas Enroth, technically perfect, size is his only weakness. Number 3, Nathan Gerbe, has exceeded expectations at every level. Number 4, Tyler Ennis, undersized pivot, has plenty of flash and dash. For solid players, anyways. Calgary, number 1, Michael Backlund, skates well and has terrific playmaking ability. Number 3, Greg Nimish, biggie-sized center, loves to get involved. Number 2, this is the kiss of death. Great technical goalie is the man of the future. Anytime I see this as the goalie of the future, I go bust. It's automatic, and it's the Kevin Weeks syndrome that takes place. Ever since Brian Burke traded for Kevin Weeks and said this is our goalie of the future, and then he couldn't win a game his first year, and halfway through his second year in Vancouver, he's traded. To me, goalie of the future means the guy's cursed. There's Brandon Prust again, hardworking guy earmarked for the energy line. Freaking Brandon Prust. Carolina, number 1, Brandon Sutter. Excellent checker, plays, and in-your-face style. And then a lot of nothing after that. Chicago, number 1, Jack Skilly. Fast skater with good size and a great shot. Number 2, Kyle Beach. Multi-dimensional talent, will be bouncer for Kane. He might have been at the bar. He wasn't on the ice because he never made the NHL. Number 3, Corey Crawford. Near perfect, technically ready for backup role. Number 8, Christopher Stieg. Plays with lots of energy and grit. Number 10, Troy Brouwer. A big, strong guy who can score goals. And he was 23 at the time this was written. And this was 5 years after his draft year. So if a guy's slow to develop, don't give up on him. Because Troy Brouwer is rated 8 players below Kyle Beach. Colorado, number 1, Kevin Shattenkirk. Great skater, moves the puck well. Number 2, Chris Stewart. Fired 25 goals as a rookie pro in the AHL. And nothing. Columbus, number 1, Jakub Voracek. Skates like the wind and is amazingly creative. Number 2, Nikita Filatov. Has breakaway skills but needs physical growth. That never happened. Number 3, Derek Brassard, great playmaker, just needs to fill out. Number 4, Steve Mason, towering stopper, is positionally sound. Number 5, Mark Mathot, love this kid. Sturdy defender, moves the puck safely. Number 7 is Tom Sestito, rugged winger, can score a little too. And then nothing. I'm just going to go through all the NHL guys currently and where they were rated. Dallas, number 1, James Neal, a Brendan Morrow type rough and tough winger. Number 4, Jamie Benn. Sniper is like magician handling the puck. He's rated below Fabian Brunstrom and Ivan Vishnevsky. Yeah. Yeah, he is. Yep. 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 Detroit, number 1, Jakob Kindl. Tremendous puck mover, has top 4 potential. Number 2, Jonathan Ericsson. Skates well and can pass the puck with precision. Number 3, Jimmy Howard. Hasn't shown enough consistency in the AHL. Number 4, Brendan Smith. Solid offensive blue liner, needs a few years to grow. Number 5, Darren Helm. Grinders an up-and-coming Chris Draper type. And number 8, Justin Ablocator. Character guy, can play at both ends of the ice. And that's it. Edmonton. Boom times. Boom times back. Kids and cats have returned hope to Edmonton. This was 6 years ago. Edmonton's finally going to make the playoffs. Number 1, Jordan Eberle, has the speed and instincts to fit Oilers' system. Number 4, Robbie Schremp. Proven scorer, needs to show he has NHL speed, and he didn't. Or NHL hands, or work ethic. Number 10, Devin Dubnyk. Struggling for playing time behind Delorier. Jeff Delorier is ranked number 6. He had one good year. Florida. Youth movement. Number 1, Sean Matthias. Power forward, can skate, dangle, and play physical. Number 2, Michael Frolik. Highly skilled winger, has ability to score a lot. Because it's ... a lot. Michael Frolik's going to score a lot. Number 4, Jakob Markstrom. Great raw instincts and competitive nature. And then nothing. LA. Number 1, Drew Doughty. His frame, poise, and maturity that belie his age. Number 2, Jonathan Bernier. Moves well in the net and has great reflexes. 3, Teddy Purcell. Is extremely creative and has quick feet. 4, Thomas Hickey. Confidence defenseman. Strongest asset is skating. Number 6, Brian Boyle. Opponents can't handle a power forward size. 7, Trevor Lewis. Struggled to score in first pro season. Wayne Simmons is number 9. A physical forward who can skate and shoot. Minnesota. Number 1, Colton Gillies. Hasn't put up huge numbers. He's big and nasty. Number 3, Benoit Pouliot. Big forward, hasn't produced expectations. Number 5, Cal Clutterbuck. Can play a tough game but must stay disciplined. 10, Marco Scandella. Strong skater with great balance and mobility. Montreal. Number 1, Ryan McDonough. Played in all situations as a freshman at Wisconsin. Ryan McDonough would have looked really good in the Montreal lineup. What happened there? They must have got somebody really, really good if they parted with McDonough. Had to have been fantastic. Number 3, PK Subban, a smooth skating two-way defenseman. Montreal won't lose with Subban in their lineup. 2 is Max Pacioretty. Power forward, is big, fast, hits hard, and scores. It doesn't mention anything about taking a stanchion to the face relatively well. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. And then there's a lot of... Well, number 9 is Ryan White. Plays physical and can score, but not a great skater. Yeah. Oh, number 5 is Alexei Emelin. Good skating, aggressive, stay-at-home defenseman. Missed him because he still had the Y in his name at that point. He's dropped the Y. Must have got tired of being called Yemelin. Nashville. Team turmoil. Number 1, Cody Franzen. Ran Milwaukee's power play as a rookie in 07-08. Number 2, Colin Wilson. Power forward, already has NHL body. Number 4, Pekka Rinne. Big goalie, is ready for a backup role. Number 7, Patrick Hornquist. Gritty goal scorer, could improve skating. Number 10, Mike Santorelli. Quick skating center, is getting better defensively. I watched his brother Mark play down in Chilliwack here. New Jersey. 6, Matt Halischuk. Energy player, moves really well and plays all out. That's it. Islanders. Number 1, Kyle Okposo. Power forward is confident and strong on the puck. 2, Josh Bailey. Solid package, but limited offensive upside as a pro. That's absolutely been true. Absolutely. Number 3, Jeff Tambellini. Might lose NHL prospect tag for AHL star label. And that is true as well. And number 8, Franz Nielsen. Great skater, has tremendous passing ability. Definitely true. Rangers. Number 1, Alexei Sharapanov. You guys know what happened there. Number 3, Michael Delzato. Mobile blue liner, loves to skate with the puck. Number 5, Artem Anisimov. Intelligent two-way center, needs to bulk up. 6, Lori Korpikoski. Speedy skater plays a solid two-way game. And number 7, Derek Stepan. Wisconsin-bound center, plays an intelligent game. Ottawa, rebound in order. Senators looking for redemption and respect. Do I keep these? Because sometimes it stays the same. Top 10 prospects for Ottawa. Number 1, Brian Lee. Number 2, Erik Karlsson. Smooth and mobile. He's a nice playmaker. Really? Pretty sure he's a pretty good sniper, too. Number 10, Colin Greening. Passing and puck handling need improvement. Wow. It's like, yeah, I'm in the book. Oh, all I do is shit talk me. Philly. Number 1 prospect, James Van Riemsdyk. Big man, skates well and has great hands. Number 2, Claude Giroux. Can make something out of nothing in a hurry. Number 5, Lucas Biza. Blue liner is very cool customer with the puck. Oh, Canucks fans would really have a field day with that one. Number 9, Patrick Maroon. Big, intelligent wingers in better shape now. Phoenix. Now Arizona, of course. Number 1, Kyle Turris. Skates well and has awesome release. Number 2, Michael Bodker. Great Dane and has had great North American debut. 4, Al Montoya. Flashy goaltender, has to settle down in the crease. And that's it. Pittsburgh. Number 1, Alex Goligoski. Must work in one-on-one battles to make it in the NHL. Wow. And that's it. San Jose. Number 1, Logan Couture. Skilled top prospect was slowed by concussion. Number 3, Jamie McGinn. Has raw skills to be an excellent power forward. 4, Thomas Greiss. Will eventually break in as Nabokov's backup. And that's it. St. Louis. Number 1, Patrick Berglund. Solid two-way center, bulked up last year. 2, Alex Pietrangelo. Has the skills and poise to step in right away. 3, TJ Oshie. Power forward, will make team out of camp. 4, Lars Eller. Shines using play-making ability and technical skill. 5, Ben Bishop. Saw a ton of rubber last season and is AHL bound. 6, Ian Cole. Can become a defensive force down the road. Number 10, Jake Allen. Tall and lanky. He has confidence and maturity. So St. Louis, pretty good system at that point. Tampa. Number 1, Steven Stamkos. Does everything well and has no obvious flaws. 4, Kerry Ramo. Team liked what it saw during 07-08 call-up. And that's that. Toronto. Number 1, Luke Shen. Rough and rugged, mature enough to play now. 2, Nikolai Kulemin. Highly skilled Russian, tabbed for jump to NHL. 4, Jimmy Hayes. Budding power forward off to Boston College. And that's it. And that's it because number 5 is Robbie Earl. So if you see Robbie Earl, you know they didn't have a deep prospect system. Vancouver. Goal-starved Canucks will rely on Luongo in defense. Goal-starved Canucks. And that team scored more than this team did the past season. Scored 191 goals, Vancouver, this year. 191. Ugh. Number 1 prospect. Oh, God. Cody Hodgson. Good camp may earn him an NHL job. 2, Corey Schneider. Well-rounded goalies ready for the NHL. 3, Michael Grabner. Drafted as goal scorer, needs time to develop. 4, Yannick Hansen. Injuries held him back from NHL in 07-08. And that's it. Washington. Number 1, Kyle Alsner. Steady and reliable, will be a top 4 defenseman. Abso-freaking-lutely. Number 2, Eric Fair. Scoring wingers, development slowed by injuries. 4, Simeon Varlamov. Long-term project, needs Time to polish game. 5. John Carlson, great raw offensive instincts for power play, big body. 6th, Michael Neuwirth, confident goalie with quick reflexes, also needs time. And that's it. But man, with those goalies, with Neuwirth and Varlamov in their system, and they had Theodore as their starter the season this was made, and Brent Johnson was the backup. Sorry, too. Brent Johnson was on waivers from the Canucks. I was so mad at that at the time. The Canucks got Johnson on waivers from St. Louis, and then they let him go on waivers. And they, who was their backup for shit's sake? Sanford. Yeah, they went with Sanford as a backup instead of Johnson. I liked Sanford. I never had a problem with Sanford. But that season, of course, the Penguins would win it. Oh, here we go. Unfolding storylines. Ilya Kovalchuk's uncertain future and 14 other things we'll be talking about. Remember when Ilya Kovalchuk was a darling in the NHL? Remember, it was back before the lockout, before Alex Ovechkin and Evgeny Malkin, before the Thrashers became the Thrashies. It was Kovalchuk, who was a Russian hotshot, #1 overall pick, and the NHL's most exciting young superstar. It was Kovalchuk, who was confident, carefree kid with an easy smile, explosive speed, and Hullian slapshot. Those were the days. Kovalchuk joined expansion Atlanta at 18 and promptly put up seasons of 28, 29, 38, 41, 52, 42, and 52 goals. Now 25, Kovalchuk is entering prime and has 60-goal MVP potential. But if the Thrashers struggle in the standings this season, and it'll be a big surprise if they don't, Kovalchuk might be looking to leave town, which would be a potential death blow to the franchise. I feel like I'm empty, a downcast Kovalchuk said at the end of the last season. We have to make the playoffs in 09. It's going to be my 7th year here, and 4 games in the playoffs is not enough. Kovalchuk's status in Atlanta is one of several situations that could vault to the forefront this season. Here are some of the intriguing storylines we'll watch. Will Calgary qualify? You can argue the Flames have the best NHL goalie in Kiprusoff, defenseman in Phaneuf, and forward in Iginla. And in the next breath, you can argue they're not a playoff team. See, Phaneuf at that time was considered one of, if not the best defenseman in the league. And then, it all fell apart for him after that. New day in Chicago. The good news is Hawks fans can finally watch their team on TV this season. The better news is Chicago will finally be worth watching after adding Brian Campbell and Cristobal Huet to a deep and talented young core. The Detroit double. The Red Wings return with virtually the same roster, plus Marian Hossa. You gotta believe they're ready for a repeat. Another Edmonton era. Oil is booming and so are the Oilers. Wow. Oil is booming and so are the Oilers. With new billionaire owner Darryl Katz at the cash register and a bevy of young talent working the rig, things haven't been this bright in Edmonton since Gretzky to Curry. This is why Oilers fans get a little antsy when you talk about them getting better, because it's happened every year. Montreal's milestone. It'll be the biggest story of the year if the Canadiens win their 25th Stanley Cup in their 100th season. Just to get Montreal in there, they put that in, and Montreal was not a contender that year. Some old things in New Jersey. Can a 36-year-old Martin Brodeur turn in another superlative season with 70-plus starts for a 10th consecutive season? Of course, if he can't, the Devils are done, despite their off-season additions. No Island is a team. The Islanders are more exciting to watch off the ice than on it. Doug Weight to Bill Guerin was a good combo in Edmonton 10 years ago, but now they're a pair of 37-year-olds who've been left behind by a new NHL. The Isles are gunning for #1 overall, not in the standings, but in the draft lottery. And, of course, Tavares. Outing Ottawa. Senators, reveal thyself. Is Ottawa the league's best team or the best worst team? We'll see where the Sens stand. Philadelphia to the final. The Flyers are good for a run to the Cup final every 10 years or so. They're due for an East, and the East is up for grabs. And they did go to the final and lose to the Blackhawks not very many years after this. Power of Pittsburgh. All eyes will be on NHL's most exciting team to see if Crosby and Malkin can march the Penguins back to the final. They did, and they won over those same Red Wings that beat them the year earlier. Great final. San Jose gets defensive. The Sharks have added 3 defensemen, all with cup rings. Dan Boyle, Rob Blake, and Brad Lukowicz. We might look back in a year and say they were the most important moves of the 2008 offseason. No. Tampa Bay turnaround. Gary Roberts, 42, one of several new Lightning forwards, already had a cup ring when Steven Stamkos, Tampa's #1 pick and league's newest next big thing, was born in 1990. Toronto in tough. The John Tavares watch begins. See? This is why I keep these books. And finally, Washington, the Alex Ovechkin watch continues. So there you have it. The 07-08 season in more than a nutshell in book form. And going through all those prospects, just to give you an idea as we go into this season and everybody's talking about prospects, sometimes the guy at the bottom of the prospects list becomes the bigger star. So with that, thanks for watching.